So it doesn't come as a surprise to any Packer fan that watched the 2024 season or any general football fan that watched Packers play last season. One of the biggest glaring needs on this Packer team heading into 2025 is the edge rush. In fact, Brian Gutekunst stated that at the end of the season, the Packers must improve the four-man rush. And I know when I heard that, and I know when a lot of Packer fans heard that, we're like, okay, great. We're going to address this in free agency. We're going to go pick up somebody big in free agency to correct the wrong that we saw in 2024, or we're going to wait till the draft and then select somebody early around, some big talented guy that's going to have an instant impact. Well, in fact, Brian Gutekunst didn't do either. In fact, he waited till day 3 of the draft to take defensive end Sorrell in the 4th round, Oklahoma State defensive end Colin Oliver in the 5th round, and then Georgia defensive tackle Brinson in the 6th round. So according to PFF last season, the edge rush, the pass rush for the Packers, nobody scored above a 66.7, who was, of course, Rashawn Gary. Okay, so that group, who is Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Kingsley Enagbare, Brenton Cox, that still remains the core group heading into 2025. So Gutekunst didn't really, with a couple of pieces that he added in the draft, he's relying on these guys, the same core guys that were there last season, which I don't think is all bad. And I want you guys to leave your comments. So obviously, maybe you have or have not seen the reports that have come out that Clowney has been released by the Carolina Panthers to free up some cap space. It says right here in Over the Cap, the Panthers will take on a $6 million dead cap charge and save 7.8 against the 2025 cap. They entered Thursday with 16.3 in cap space. Well, now they've got 24.1 in cap space. Of course, this team has tons of needs. We already know that. And they're looking to rebuild. But if you remember last season, Clowney was one of those guys that was considered as trade bait. We all know that the Carolina Panthers season was in jeopardy, to say the least. And then Preston Smith goes to Pittsburgh, and then you've got the Browns veteran Zadarius Smith, former Packer. He drew some interest. He goes to the Lions. He made an impact there, and now Clowney still stays with Carolina Panthers. They didn't get any sexy enough offers to trade Clowney, so they end up cutting him. They end up saving some cap space there. Now, can the Packers capitalize on it? And I want you guys to leave your comments and let me know, do you want Clowney to be a Green Bay Packer, or are you in the boat of Brian Gutekunst? And quite frankly, this is the boat that I'm in, and I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know. I think that the Packers, we know that they've been the youngest team over the last couple of years in the NFL, the entire NFL, and probably heading into this season, they're probably still going to remain the youngest team in the NFL. I don't know that to be a fact, but this core group of guys, now they went and spent a lot of draft capital per se to go and get Lucas Van Ness, so they believe in him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have drafted him when they did. And we know that he was a late bloomer. He didn't play football until he was in college, all of that stuff. So Lucas Van Ness is one of those guys that could probably make the biggest leap from, not being that great, just being a mediocre edge rusher, to all of a sudden becoming opposite side Rashawn Gary, a difference maker. Then you've got Brenton Cox Jr. there, who I really personally like a lot. Kingsley Enagbare can hold his own. So I think the Packers are probably going to stay put, but you look at Clowney's PFF here. So here's what, we said 66.7, no edge rusher of the Packers, because that was Rashawn Gary's PFF score. Then you look at last season, who is one of a down season per se for Clowney, who's 32 years old now. He had an overall PFF score of a 70.8, and then his pass rush score of 73.2. That certainly would dramatically help this Packer defense. And if they're looking to make some noise this season, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to them going out and getting a veteran piece like Clowney, who could have an impact on this Packer team, not just this year, but also next year. I want you guys to leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts there. Of course, a lot of teams out there are probably now, with the release of Clowney, they're imagining a piece like that on their team. And of course, us as Packer fans, we see that there's still somewhat of a need there potentially, or the Packers just, grow with maturity, they get better. But I want you guys to leave your comments and let me know, are you on board with Clowney and the Packers going after him and becoming a Green Bay Packer, or are in the boat of like, hey, you know what? Gutekunst sees that there's some talent there. He said we needed to get better at the edge rush, our front four. So I think that his betterness of that is like, hey, listen, we just got to get better. We've got the talent here, and I think we're going to be good enough. Leave your comments, and as always, go Pack, go. I know we all love to provide feedback when watching a football game, and there's either a call that goes for or against the team you're rooting for. And it typically looks like me sitting there yelling at the screen. But guess what? There's a more productive way to do this, and it's called penalty Verdict. It's an app that you get to download on your phone that allows you to vote on penalty calls in real time for both NFL and college football games. And the feedback contributes to ref performance matrix. And guess what? They get to see their score. How cool is that? Engage with the community of football fans who desire to see fair and accountable refing from some of these guys out there. And quite frankly, refs shouldn't dictate the outcome of a game. Sadly, sometimes they do. Unlock the next dimension of sports by engaging with real-time polling of referees, players, and teams. View data-driven insights and have an informed discussion about the game. But here's the thing, penalty verdict is in the development phase and would love to hear feedback from you. What features do you want to see on the app this upcoming football season? There's also a cool wagers tab on this app that allows you to bet on different aspects of the game, who's going to win, who will get the most penalties, who's going to get the first penalty, things like that. It's super cool. I'm going to drop a link in the video below that I want you to click on, penalty verdict.